Sometimes a guy tells himself he's way too old for another shot at things, that his good days are gone and all he can do now is wait around. Jacob Stone was okay with dying by himself in the Colorado mountains after 20 years all alone. Then one November morning, a young lady named Sarah Whitmore showed up at his cabin door in the falling snow. She rode 300 miles on a horse just to find him. What she said next would flip his life upside down. She'd been waiting for him for 7 years. But why would a lady hunt through the wild woods for a rough old mountain guy twice her age? What secret linked them over all those years and miles? Before we go back to the story, tell us where you're listening from. And if this tale hits you in the feels, be sure you're subscribed because tomorrow I've got something super cool saved for you. The cabin was up at 9,000 feet, hidden in a spot where the wind couldn't get to it, but the sun could. Jacob Stone had made it with his own 2 hands 20 years back, when he first got to these mountains, running from a sadness that could eat him up. The logs were faded silver gray now, sealed tight against the chill with moss and dirt. A stone chimney stuck up from the middle, puffing out a thin line of smoke most days. It didn't look fancy, but it had kept him going through 2 decades of winters that took out weaker guys. He woke up that November morning like always before the sun came up, when the world was calm and quiet and just his. The cabin was so cold that his breath made fog in the dark. He stayed there for a bit under the thick bear hide, listening. The wind had stopped during the night. That meant snow was on the way, the heavy stuff that made the tops like castles no one could get over until spring let go. Jacob got up, feeling the usual ache in his back and shoulders. 63 years old, and each year had marked him. His feet hit the cold floor and he went to the fireplace, poking the coals to life. The dry wood caught fast. He never let the fire go out all the way. Not up here where cold could end you before you knew it was bad. While the cabin got warmer, he put on clothes in layers, wool underwear, soft old canvas pants, a flannel shirt his wife had sewn for him before she passed, and a leather vest. His boots were moccasins he'd traded for, stuffed with rabbit fur, quiet on the trap paths, warm enough for all but the worst days. He ran his fingers through his hair, silver now, down to his shoulders, because trimming it felt like extra work, and tied it back with a leather string. The mirror over his wash bowl showed the face he was used to, brown skin from weather, deep lines around his eyes and mouth, a beard that went from black to gray to all white. His eyes were still sharp, though, light blue like stream water. Margaret used to say they were the first thing she'd seen about him. That was 40 years ago when he was a young guy working on her dad's ranch in Montana, before the army, before they got married, before they lost it all. He shoved the memories aside. That was the key to making it up here. You learned to shut the past in a spot in your head and only go there when you felt tough enough. Most days he didn't. Jacob made coffee in a beat-up pot. The grounds used again until they had no taste left. He fried cornmeal stuff in bacon fat and ate by the window, staring out at the mountains that were his whole world now. The peaks had early snow already, sharp against the sky before dawn, pretty and scary like most things worth getting. After eating, he grabbed his stuff for the trap path, a canvas bag, his knife, a small axe, his rifle. The Winchester was older than his time here, but he kept it clean and it never let him down. Big cats like mountain lions didn't mind how old a guy was. The rifle made things even. He went out just as the sun popped over the east side. The cold smacked him like a hit, sharp and fresh. His breath made clouds in front of him. The thermometer on the cabin wall said 18 degrees, not bad for November up high. He'd seen it go to 40 below. Cold so bad trees popped when their juice froze. The horses, 2 of them, a bay gelding named Sam and a spotted mare called Birdie, made sounds from the little pen. He made the shelter lean against the rocks, safe from the north wind. The animals had lasted up here almost as long as him. He gave them hay from his small stash, checked their water. They'd have to go down to Pine Ridge before the big snows hit. Stuff was low. Flour, salt, coffee. The stuff a guy couldn't make or catch himself. Jacob spent the morning on his trap path, a loop that took him 3 hours through the trees and by the creek. He found 2 marten and a fox, all stiff frozen in the traps. Nice fur. He'd get good trades when he went down. He set the traps again with easy habit, his hands moving even though they were numb from cold. This was the beat of his life. Trap check, skin dry, trade, day after day, season after season, year after year. By the time he got back to the cabin, it was afternoon, and the sky was that flat gray white that meant snow was near. He skinned the animals on the workbench behind the cabin, scraping the hides clean and pulling them on frames. The job was like thinking time, needing focus but not deep thought. His mind could drift while his hands worked. He thought about Thomas Whitmore, which was weird. He tried not to think about the folks he'd left when he came to the mountains. Thomas was just 17 when Jacob was boss on the Walker Ranch in Wyoming. Eager kid, always following Jacob, asking stuff, wanting to know all about horses and cows and the land. Jacob had been nice to him. The boy reminded him of the son he never had, might have had if his daughter lived. If Margaret hadn't died from the same sickness that took their baby girl, he'd left the ranch fast. The sadness finally too much around others. He'd just packed his things one morning and rode into the mountains, looking for a spot far enough that memories couldn't chase him. Thomas was heartbroken, Jacob heard later, but he'd toughened up about it. Better for the kid to learn early that people go away, that you can't count on anyone sticking around. That was 17 years ago. Thomas would be in his mid-30s now if he'd lived. Probably had kids, a ranch of his own. Jacob hoped he'd done good. The kid deserved better than getting ditched by another person he trusted. Jacob finished with the hides as the first snow started. Big flakes coming down soft and slow. He took the frames inside to dry by the fire, then started an early dinner. Beans and salt pork, the same meal he'd had 1,000 times. He just sat to eat when he heard it, the sound of a horse moving through the snow outside. He stopped, spoon halfway to his mouth. In 20 years, no one had come to his cabin without asking. The few trappers and gold hunters who worked this high land knew which spots were his and stayed away. Visitors meant problems or bad news, and he wanted none of that. Jacob put down his bowl and picked up the rifle, feeling the bullets. He went to the window and peeked out through the gap in the shutters. A single rider was coming through the falling snow, leading their horse instead of riding. Smart, the path to his cabin was tricky if you didn't know it. The person was small, wrapped in a thick coat and hat. As they got closer, Jacob saw with a shock that it was a woman. His first idea was she was lost, maybe split from a group lower on the mountain. His second idea was she'd come far. The horse was tired, its head low, its breath steaming in the cold air. The woman moved like someone almost done, each step careful and slow. Jacob watched her come, his hold tight on the rifle. She stopped 20 feet from the cabin, looking up at the place like she was glad. Then she called out, her voice clear even in the falling snow. "Mr. Stone, Jacob Stone." She knew his name. That changed stuff. He went to the door, keeping the rifle in hand, but aimed down. He opened it and stepped out onto the small porch he'd made to stop snow from piling at the door. "I'm Stone," he said. His voice sounded rough. He hardly talked out loud up here. "Who's asking?" The woman pushed back her hat, and Jacob saw her face first time. Young, mid-20s tops, pretty in a real way, with strong looks and dark eyes that stared at him without backing off. Her cheeks were red from cold, her lips dry. She'd been traveling tough. "My name is Sarah Whitmore," she said. "Thomas Whitmore was my dad." The world felt like it tipped a bit. Jacob felt something move in his chest. A door he'd thought shut forever shaking loose. Thomas. This was Thomas's kid. He could see it now. She had her dad's eyes, his strong chin. "Thomas," Jacob said quietly. It wasn't a question, just the name in the cold air between them. "Yes, sir." Sarah stepped closer, her horse following nice. "He died 7 years ago, horse accident. But before he passed, he talked about you. He told me that if I ever needed help, if I ever needed someone to show me how to stand on my own, I should find Jacob Stone in the Colorado high country." Jacob's throat felt stuck. 7 years. Thomas had been gone 7 years, and he'd never known. The kid he'd guided, the young guy he'd left, gone. And this girl, this young woman, had spent years hunting for him. "That's far to come," Jacob said at last. "And it's getting dark. There's weather coming in." "I know," Sarah said. "I've been riding for 2 weeks. I'm not going back down tonight." It wasn't asking. Jacob looked at her for a long time. She held his look steady, and he saw something in her that reminded him of himself young. A kind of desperate grit, the look of someone with no other choices. "You can put your horse with mine," he said, picking a choice he knew he'd regret maybe. "We'll talk inside where it's warm." Relief showed on Sarah's face, though she hid it. "Thank you." Jacob took her around to the pen, showing her where to put her horse and stuff. The animal was a good one, a strong roan mare that had been cared for good despite the tough trip. While Sarah took off the saddle, Jacob gave out hay and broke the ice on the water spot. They worked quiet, the snow falling heavier now, piling on their shoulders and hats. When they finally went in the cabin, Sarah stopped just inside the door and looked around. Jacob tried to see it like she did, small, dim, basic. One room with his bed in one corner, the table and chairs he'd made from pine trees. Shelves with his few things, the fireplace taking most of one wall. Furs and hides hung from the beams drying. It smelled like wood smoke, leather, and coffee. A loner's spot. "Sit," Jacob said, pointing to the table. "You hungry?" "Starving," Sarah said. She took off her coat and hat, showing a simple dress under, warm wool in dark blue. Her hair was brown, braided, and pinned up. She sat at his table like she fit there, which bugged him more than he liked. Jacob warmed the beans and pork, adding more to the pot. He cut bread he'd baked 2 days back, hard now, but okay when dipped in the bean sauce. He poured coffee into 2 tin cups and set it all on the table. Sarah ate like she was serious. Not fancy, but not wasting. He watched her hands. Rough from work and strong. Her dad's hands. "Tell me about Thomas," Jacob said when she'd eaten some. "How did it happen?" Sarah put down her spoon. "He was breaking a horse for a neighbor. 3-year-old stallion, bad temper. The horse threw him, and he hit his head on a fence post. He lived for 2 days, mostly out. But there were times when he was awake. That's when he talked about you." Jacob felt the old guilt come up like an ache in his bones. "I should have stayed. Should have been there. He never blamed you," Sarah said fast. "He got why you left. He told me about your wife, your daughter. He said you taught him that sometimes a guy has to walk away from it all to save what's left of him." The words hit harder than Jacob thought. He stood quick, going to the window. Outside. The snow was falling hard now, already covering the ground thick. "Why are you really here, Sarah?" he asked, back to her. "Your dad's been gone 7 years. Why now?" He heard her breathe deep, getting ready. "Because I'm running," she said plain. "And I don't have anywhere else to go." Jacob turned to look at her. In the firelight, she looked younger and older both. Young enough for a full life ahead. Old enough to have seen too much hard stuff. Running from what? He asked, though he guessed he knew. There were only so many things that sent young women alone into the mountains. "From a marriage I don't want," Sarah said, looking at him. "From a man who thinks he owns me because his family paid my debts. From a life that would kill me slower than any winter could." Jacob looked at this young woman, Thomas's kid, at his table asking for help. Every gut feeling said no. Send her back down the mountain tomorrow to keep the alone life he'd built so careful. He was too old, too stuck in habits, too hurt to take care of another person. But there was another feeling, quieter but pushy. The feeling that remembered Thomas's eager face, the kid's loyalty and trust. The feeling that knew what it meant to be so desperate you'd ride 300 miles into the wild looking for hope. "You can stay until the snow melts," Jacob heard himself say. "That's 3, maybe 4 months. But when the path is open, you'll need to pick what next. I can't fix your life for you." Sarah's eyes got shiny, but she didn't cry. "I don't need you to fix stuff. I just need time to think how to fix it myself. That's all I'm asking," Jacob nodded slow. "Then we have a deal." "Thank you," Sarah said quiet. "Don't thank me yet," Jacob said. "Winter up here is tougher than you think. You might wish you picked different before spring." Sarah smiled, a small, tough look that reminded him so much of her dad it hurt. "I won't wish different," she said. "I've been waiting 7 years to find you, Mr. Stone. Whatever happens, at least I'm finally where I'm meant to be." Jacob didn't know what to say, so he said nothing. He went to the corner where he kept extra blankets and started making a bed spot near the fire. Tomorrow he'd fix the cabin for 2 people. Tonight he'd give her the warm spot and take the cold himself. It was the least he could do for Thomas's kid. Outside, the snow kept falling, quiet and steady, locking them into the high country until spring let them out. Jacob Stone had thought his tale was done, that the only parts left were waiting and dying alone in these mountains. But as he looked at Sarah Whitmore, curled by his fire, already falling into tired sleep, he felt something he hadn't in 20 years. A tiny, breakable spark of hope that maybe, just maybe, his tale wasn't done yet. After all, Jacob woke to the smell of coffee and bacon. For a second, still stuck between sleep and awake, he thought he was back in Montana with Margaret. Then real stuff hit him like cold water, and he remembered Sarah Whitmore was sleeping by his fire, or had been. The sounds from his kitchen spot made it clear she was up and cooking. He sat up on his bed, every joint complaining. He'd given Sarah the warm spot by the fire and took his usual spot in the corner. At his age, a cold night left him stiff till he moved. He pulled on his boots and stood, running hands through his hair. Sarah turned from the stove as he came near. She'd already dressed, her hair braided neat. "Good morning," she said. "I hope it's okay. I found the bacon and some eggs. Thought I should help out," Jacob grunted, going to the window. 2 feet of new snow fell overnight, maybe more. The world out was white and quiet, the kind that only comes after heavy snow. They weren't going nowhere today. "You know how to cook," he said, sitting at the table. "My dad taught me all he could before he died," Sarah said, bringing him a plate. "How to cook, hunt, track, read sign. He said a woman needs to know how to care for herself because the world isn't nice to those who can't." Jacob ate quiet, thinking about Thomas showing his kid the same lessons Jacob showed him. There was something both nice and hurting about that link. After eating, Sarah cleaned the dishes without asking. Jacob watched her move in his cabin, quick and good. She wasn't acting like this was short stay. She was already making it home. That should have bugged him more than it did. "We need to talk," Jacob said at last. "You said you're running from a marriage. I need the full tale." Sarah dried her hands on a cloth and sat across from him. The morning light through the window made her look even younger. "His name is James Holloway," she started. "His dad owns the biggest ranch in our Wyoming spot. 10,000 acres, 200 cows, money and power. And the son wants you," Jacob said. "The son thinks he owns me," Sarah fixed. "After my dad died, I had debts. The ranch was small, and there were doctor bills. I was getting by, just but getting by. Then my uncle, my dad's brother, showed up. I hardly knew him. He'd left Wyoming years back. Didn't even come to my dad's funeral." Jacob could see where this went. He took over. "He said I was a woman alone, that I needed a man's help. He went to the Holloways, told them I was ready for marriage. They offered to pay the debts for a deal." Sarah's voice was steady, but Jacob heard the mad under it. "I didn't know till the papers were signed. My uncle faked my name. That's not legal," Jacob said. "Legal doesn't count much when the other family has money to make it legal," Sarah said. "The Holloways paid $500 to pay my debts. In their eyes, they own me now. James came to get me 3 months ago. I said no. He said it wasn't my choice." Jacob felt a cold mad in his gut. He'd seen this before. Strong men treating women like stuff, like cows to buy and trade. "So you left." "I fought first," Sarah said, and now there was something wild in her eyes. "I told him I'd never marry him, that I'd rather die alone. He grabbed me, tried to force a kiss. I broke his nose with the end of my dad's rifle." Despite himself, Jacob felt a bit of okay. Bet that shocked him. It did, but it made stuff worse. He left, but he promised he'd be back with the law. Said I attacked him, that I was crazy. I knew I had to go before they could lock me up or pull me to a church. Sarah leaned in. "I spent the next month getting ready. I sold what I could, packed what I needed, and started riding. I knew the rough way my dad said you'd gone. I asked at every town, every trade spot. Most hadn't heard of you, but an old trapper in Durango said he knew a guy named Stone who lived high in the San Juans, a loner who didn't want folks. He drew me a basic map." Jacob shook his head slow. "You rode 300 miles on the word of one old trapper and a basic map." "I didn't have other spots to go," Sarah said plain. "And my dad trusted you more than anyone. He said you were the best guy he'd ever known, that you'd showed him what honor meant. I figured if I could find you, maybe you could help me think what to do next." Jacob stood and went to the small shelf with his few personal things. He reached behind books and pulled out a small wood box. Inside was the old photo he'd kept from the night Margaret and the baby died. He hardly looked at it now. The hurt had faded over years, but never gone. He put the box on the table in front of Sarah. "Open it," she did, careful. Her breath stopped when she saw the photo. A younger Jacob, clean-shaved, eyes clear, standing by a pretty woman holding a baby in blankets. "Margaret and Annie," Jacob said, quiet. "My wife and daughter? They died of fever 23 years ago. Annie was only 6 months old. Margaret went 3 days later. I buried them both on a hill in Montana. And then I didn't know what to do anymore." Sarah touched the photo soft. "I'm so sorry. I tried to keep working on the ranch, but everything reminded me of them. Every room, every spot, every sunset. I started drinking, stopped caring. The ranch owner, good guy named Walker, he tried to help, but I was sinking and didn't want saving. That's when your dad showed up, 17 years old, eager like a pup, wanting to learn all." Jacob sat back down. "He followed me all over, asked 1,000 questions, wouldn't leave me be even when I was mean to him, which I was sometimes. He just kept coming, kept trying, and slowly, without planning, he gave me a reason to get up mornings. Teaching him, seeing him grow, it helped." "He loved you like a dad," Sarah said, soft. "I know. That's why I left," Jacob met her eyes. "I could feel myself getting close, starting to care again. And I couldn't. I couldn't risk loving someone and losing them again. So one morning I just rode off. Didn't say bye. Didn't explain. Just gone into these mountains where loss couldn't chase. But it did chase. Sarah said, "Loss always does." Jacob nodded slow. Yes, it just took 20 years to catch up. Sarah reached in her pocket and pulled something out. She put it on the table between them. A small wood horse carved by hand, smooth from years of touching. Jacob felt his breath stop. He knew that horse. He'd carved it himself 17 years ago during a slow afternoon on the ranch. Thomas had bugged him about learning woodwork, so Jacob showed him how to whittle. He'd made the horse to show, then gave it to the kid. He carried this everywhere. Sarah said, even when he got older, he kept it in his pocket. After he died, I found it in his stuff with a note. It said, "This horse was made by the best man I ever knew. If you need help, find Jacob Stone. He'll know what to do." Jacob picked up the wood horse with shaky hands. It was rough, the sizes a bit off, the mane too thick. But he remembered making it, remembered Thomas's face when he'd gave it. The kid's eyes lit up like Jacob gave him gold. "I don't know what to do," Jacob said, voice rough. "I don't know how to help you, Sarah. I'm just an old guy hiding in the mountains." "You're more than that," Sarah said strong. "You're the guy my dad trusted over everyone. You're why I rode 300 miles through late weather. You're my last hope." The words stayed in the air between them. Jacob wanted to say no, to send her off, to go back to his easy alone time. But looking at Thomas's kid holding the wood horse he'd carved long ago, he found he couldn't. "The Holloways will look for you," Jacob said at last. "If you're worth $500 to them, they won't let you vanish." "I know," Sarah said. "I've watched my trail. I don't think they've found me yet, but they will someday. Someone will recall a woman alone, asking questions. They'll chase, and when they get here, Sarah's jaw set in a tough line. Then we handle it together." Jacob wanted to fight to explain there was no together, that he'd sworn off teams and ties 20 years ago, but something in Sarah's eyes stopped him. Not begging or desperate, but a quiet strength that reminded him of her dad. Thomas had that same thing, a grit that bent but never broke. "Your dad was a good guy," Jacob said quiet. "One of the best I knew. He deserved better than I gave." "He thought the world of you till his last day," Sarah said. "That's what counts." Jacob put the wood horse back on the table. "I'll teach you what I can. How to survive up here. How to care for yourself. When spring comes, we'll think your next step." But Sarah, he met her eyes. "For real, I can't promise more than that. I'm not the guy your dad thought. I'm just someone who learned how to survive alone." "That's just what I need to learn," Sarah said. "How to survive. How to stand on my own. How to be tough enough no one can own me." Jacob nodded slow. "Then that's what I'll teach. But it won't be easy. Winter up here breaks folks who aren't ready." "I'm ready," Sarah said with quiet sure. Looking at her, Jacob wasn't sure if she was or not. But he saw the grit in her voice. It was the same grit that carried him into these mountains 20 years ago and kept him alive since. Maybe Thomas's kid got more than his eyes and chin. Maybe she got his strength too. "Tomorrow we start," Jacob said. "I'll show you the trap lines, teach you to read weather, show you how to save meat, and gather plants to stop scurvy. You'll work harder than ever." "Good," Sarah said simply. Jacob stood and went to the window again, looking at the snow world. His careful alone life shattered by a young woman with a wood horse and her dad's last words. He should have been mad, felt taken over. Instead, he felt something else. Something that felt risky like purpose. "You should know," Jacob said without turning. "I'm not good at this. At being near folks, at caring what happens to them. I'll probably say wrong stuff and be too hard and not get what you need. That's okay." Sarah's voice came from behind him. "I'm not good at asking help or taking handouts or saying when I'm scared. We'll figure it out together." Together. That word again. Jacob had spent 20 years making sure there was no together in his life. And now Thomas's kid messing everything, bringing past crashing into now with a wood horse and a tale of running from men who thought they could own her. He turned to face her. "Your dad would be proud of you. Coming far, standing up for yourself. That took guts." Sarah's eyes shone, but she blinked tears away. "I hope so. I hope I'm doing what he wanted." "You are," Jacob said, sure. And in that moment, he made a quiet promise to Thomas Whitmore, the eager kid he'd ditched 17 years ago. He'd protect this girl, teach her what she needed, and help her get tough enough to face what came. It was the least he could do for the son he'd never had. Outside, the snow kept falling, covering the world in white quiet. Inside the cabin, two folks who'd been running from different kinds of hurt found themselves in the same spot, tied by a dead man's love and a wood horse carved long ago. It wasn't the start Jacob expected, but maybe it was the start he needed. The first full day together started before dawn, as all Jacob's days did. He woke Sarah soft, still weird with another person in his space, but set to keep his promise to Thomas. "Time to work," he said simple. Sarah was dressed and ready fast. No whines about the early time or the cold that snuck in the cabin overnight. Jacob noted this with okay. Whining was a treat that killed folks in the mountains. He showed her how he built the fire each morning, the exact way of dry wood and logs that would burn hot to cook, but not waste wood. Then he showed his way of making coffee. Grounds measured careful, water from the barrel he'd filled before snow, boiled just long enough to get taste without bitter. "We check traps first," Jacob said as they ate quick breakfast of fried cornmeal and last eggs. "Every day, no matter weather. An animal left too long in a trap hurts and the fur can get wrecked by other animals." "How far is the trap line?" Sarah asked. 3 hours round on a good day. Longer in deep snow. Jacob checked the sky through the window. "Today will be longer. We got 2 feet last night and more coming." They dressed in layers, Sarah using one of Jacob's extra coats, which was big on her small body. He gave her a pair of snowshoes he'd made years back but hardly used. They were too small for his feet but fit Sarah okay. "Stay behind me," Jacob said as they went out. "Step where I step. The deep spots hide fallen stuff and holes. A broken ankle up here kills." Sarah nodded serious, and they set out into the white world. The morning was rough and it's pretty. The sun hadn't cleared the tops yet, leaving the valley in blue-gray shade. Their breath made clouds in the freezing air, and the only sound was snow crunch under snowshoes, and sometimes a tree branch snap, letting go ice. Jacob led them along the trap line he'd set years ago. Each trap put careful near animal paths or water spots. The first 3 traps were empty. The storm kept animals in dens. The 4th had a marten frozen hard, its dark fur perfect. "Watch," Jacob said, and showed Sarah how to take the animal without hurting the fur, how to reset the trap just like before. "You're not just taking from these mountains. You're part of them. Respect that." Sarah watched close, asking questions that showed she was thinking, not just copying. "How did you know where to put the trap? How could you tell if a path was used or old? What other signs to look for?" Jacob found himself getting into teaching beat, something he hadn't since Thomas. There was good in passing knowledge, in seeing get it in someone's eyes. They were checking the 6th trap deep in pine trees when Jacob felt neck hair stand. He stopped fast, hand up. Sarah froze behind him. "What?" she started to whisper. "Quiet!" Jacob breathed. He'd lasted 20 years here by trusting gut, and right now every gut screamed danger. He looked the trees slow, searching for move, for anything wrong. Then he saw it 50 feet away, half hid by a fallen log. A mountain lion, its tan coat mixing perfect with dead grass poking snow. It was watching them, tail twitching slow. Jacob's hand moved slow to his rifle, pulling it from shoulder. He didn't look away from the cat. Mountain lions didn't usually hit people, but a hungry one in winter might try, especially with 2 folks smelling like fear. "Sarah," Jacob said quiet when I say back away slow. "Don't run. Keep eyes on the cat. If it charges, make yourself big and yell. Get it?" "Yes," Sarah whispered, and Jacob heard fear in her voice, but also control. She wasn't flipping out. The lion got up from crouch, muscles moving. Undercoat. Jacob lifted rifle slow, aiming down barrel. He didn't want to kill the cat. It was just surviving like all up here. But he wouldn't wait if it came to keeping Sarah safe. "Easy," Jacob said, though he wasn't sure if to the lion, Sarah, or himself. "We're just passing." The lion stared at them for what felt forever, but probably seconds. Then, with tail flick, it turned and vanished into woods, gone quiet as it came. Jacob waited full minute before lowering rifle. His heart pounded, hands steady despite fear rush. "Is it gone?" Sarah asked. "For now?" Jacob turned to her. Her face pale, but eyes clear. "You did good. You stayed calm." "I was scared bad," Sarah said. "Being scared and staying calm aren't against each other," Jacob said. "Courage isn't no fear. It's fear in doing what needs anyway." "Your dad taught me that." Sarah got a small smile. He said the same. They kept on trapline. Both more watch now, knowing how fast things turn bad. Jacob found himself watching Sarah as much as land, noticing how she moved, careful but not scared, learning snowshoe beat, asking when stuff didn't make sense. By time they back to cabin, midday and more snow falling. They'd got 2 more marten and a fox, good furs that would get good price. Inside, Jacob made fire while Sarah hung coats to dry. "Now you learn skin," Jacob said, took her to workbench behind cabin, under overhang. "Work cold, exact, not for weak stomachs." Jacob showed initial cuts, how to pull skin free from meat without rip, how to stretch on frame to dry. Sarah watched close. When he gave knife and second marten, she worked slow but good. "My dad taught me clean deer and rabbits," she said as she worked. "This not so different." "It's not," Jacob agreed. "Life and death, that's all hunting is. Taking life to keep yours. No shame, but no big deal either. It's just what needs done." They worked side by side in cold breath fog, hands numb. When pelts stretched and set to dry, they went inside where fire warmed cabin to almost comfy. Jacob made coffee, they sat at table. Afternoon light fading early like winter. Sarah's hands red from cold and work, but no wine. "Tell me about him," she said sudden. "About my dad when you knew him. I have my memories, but I was young. I want know what he like when learning when he age I am now." Jacob wrapped hands around coffee cup, feeling warmth in frozen fingers. He'd spent long not talking past that words felt rusty. He was eager, Jacob said at last, almost too eager. He'd jump for anything, throw at any job, make mistakes cause rush, but never same mistake twice. "That's mark of someone worth teaching. Not they never mess, but learn from mess," Sarah smiled. "That sounds him." He was kind too, Jacob went on. In world that doesn't reward kind, he'd use own money buy feed for neighbor horse, stay up all night with calving cow, not even hours. Other hands teased, called soft. "But your dad," Jacob stopped, remembering he didn't let change him. "He kept decent, kept helping where he could." "He taught me that," Sarah said quiet. "He said measure of person not what do when watched, but what do when no one know." Jacob felt twist in chest. "He said that all time." "I told him that." "Jacob said 20 years ago when he asked me what make good man, I didn't think he remember. He remembered all you taught." Sarah said he talked to you even years later. "Time you taught shoe horse, way you read weather and clouds, how you never lose temper even when he mess up. You shaped who he became." Jacob looked away, hit by feelings he'd locked long. "I wish I'd stayed. I wish I'd been there when he got why you left." Sarah cut in soft. "He told me about your wife and daughter. He said you're heartbroken and you need time heal. Even if time forever, he never blamed." "Maybe he should," Jacob said rough. "Maybe you stop blaming yourself," Sarah said. They sat quiet for a bit. Fire cracking, snow tapping windows. Jacob felt open, raw, like 20 years' protective scars peeled in one talk. "I can't replace him," Jacob said at last. "I can't be the dad you lost." "I'm not asking that," Sarah said. "I'm just asking you help me strong enough face what's coming. That's all." Jacob nodded slow. "Then that's what we do. Tomorrow we work on reading sign tracking game. You need feed yourself if something happens me." "Nothing happen you," Sarah said with more sure than spot warranted. "In these mountains anything happen," Jacob fixed. "And you need ready for all." That evening, after simple dinner beans, salt pork, Sarah surprised him by pulling small book from pack, poems collection. She read loud by firelight, voice soft steady. Jacob found listening despite usual no patience with that. "My dad loved poetry," Sarah said. He said it reminded beauty and world, even hard times. Jacob thought that as he lay in bed later, hearing Sarah's quiet breath from pallet by fire. He'd spent 20 years just surviving, getting from one day next. He'd forgot beauty, connection, anything past simple staying alive. Thomas's kid reminding him things he'd forgot on purpose. It uncomfortable, unsettling, and honest, not all bad. Cabin felt different with another in it. Warmer, more alive. Outside, wind picked up, howling through peaks like wolves. Jacob always found comfort in sound, proof he truly alone, fully cut from world hurt him bad. But tonight, with Sarah sleeping peaceful near fire, wind sounded different. Not comfort, but lonely. For first time in 20 years, Jacob Stone wondered if maybe being alone wasn't same as safe, and if maybe, just maybe, wall he'd built round heart was less protection, more prison. He fell asleep with uncomfortable thought and dreamed Thomas Whitmore teaching daughter ride, shoot, survive. In dream, Thomas looked Jacob said, "Take care her. She's stronger than knows." Jacob woke dark, dream still clear, whispered empty air. "I will, promise." 2 weeks passed in beat Jacob found weird, oddly comfy. Each morning rose before dawn, checked traps, tended horses, gathered wood. Sarah proved capable willing, never skipping hard work or whining about cold freeze fingers minutes if not careful. The cabin changed. Small stuff mostly. Clothes on pegs Jacob never used. Shelves set in way made sense. Meals more than just bean salt pork. Sarah found dried herbs, wild onions turned simple food something almost good. Jacob caught humming one morning as stoked fire, then stopped sudden, bugged by own happy sound. "What's wrong?" Sarah asked from where kneading dough for bread she wanted make. "Nothing," Jacob said. "Just not used noise," Sarah smiled. "I've hardly made noise." "That's not mean," Jacob said, though couldn't explain what did mean. It noise another person living, breathing, being in space, kept quiet 20 years. Even when not talking, her being filled cabinways comforted, unsettled him. Third week brought blizzard, trapped them inside 3 days straight. Wind howled like alive, pushing snow against walls so hard Jacob checked constant drifts, not block door or cover chimney. Temp dropped, low frost formed inside windows despite fire hot in hearth. First day kept busy tasks. Sarah fixing clothes with thread needles she brought. Jacob fixing broken snowshoe, maintaining traps. They talked little, comfy shared quiet. Second day, antsy set in. Cabin felt smaller, walls closer. Sarah paced like caged. Jacob snapped at her small things. Cup left wrong shelf. Too much wood fire. "Sorry," he said at last, seeing own unfair. "Not used cooped with company." "Not used cooped at all," Sarah said. "Dad always said restless feet." "He got from me," Jacob said. "Taught him staying still long made soft. God's been staying still these mountains 20 years, so maybe wrong that." Sarah sat table pulling shawl tighter, even with fire cold seeping. "Tell me about before," she said. "Before here, before lost wife daughter, Jacob first gut refuse, shut talk before open old hurts." But something Sarah's eyes real curious, not bad interest, made rethink. "Different then," he said slow. "Younger, obvious, but more. Believed things, family, future, chance happy. Was cavalry scout while. Then tired military hired ranch in Montana. That's where met Margaret." "What's she like?" Sarah asked. Jacob closed eyes, calling memory. "Strong? Not body, though that too. Strong spirit. She could look you see through fake lie-told self. She saw me, really saw, loved anyway. Rare thing." "It is," Sarah agreed soft. "Married quick, maybe too quick some standards, but when no, small house ranch, nothing fancy. She made feel palace. Then Annie came." Jacob voice caught. "Even years this part hurt. Perfect, tiny, with Margaret dark hair, my eyes. She'd grab finger hold like never let go." "What happened?" Sarah voice gentle. "Fever went through Montana part. Started town, spread ranches. Annie sick first, 6 months, nothing do. Tried all. Cold baths, herb stuff, prayers. She died Margaret arms Tuesday morning. Jacob stood, need move. Margaret sick 2 days later. She fought. Tried stay strong me, but see eyes she didn't want. Wanted Annie. She died 3 days later, he stopped throat tight. Buried them hill where Margaret liked sit watch sunset. Then went little crazy. "So sorry," Sarah said, real care in voice. Jacob look away. "Thomas found me year after. Stopped drinking then, but still broken. Eager kid, wouldn't leave alone, kept try make care things. Slowly, despite self, did. Started teaching, found purpose watching grow. But then realized getting attached. Couldn't." Jacob shook head. "Couldn't risk loving lose again, so left. Came mountains where nothing touch, where no care anyone anything. And 20 years convinced self better." Jacob turned Sarah. "Then you showed with Woodhorse Dad's last words. Making question all thought new." Sarah stood went window looking white storm. "Dad used say opposite love isn't hate, fear. Said too many never let love cause afraid pain might come. But said pain lonely worse than pain loss. 'Cause least loss means had worth losing. He wiser than credit." Jacob said learned best. Sarah said looking him. "Spent rest day quiet company. Tension earlier gone." Sarah taught Jacob card game Thomas taught her. Simple, but made Jacob laugh when beat 3 row. "Cheating," accused Nomad. "Just better you are," Sarah said, grinning. That night, wind slowed enough here think. Sarah made stew-dried meat veggies, ate firelight. Jacob found watching her. Way moved, looks crossed face, strength hands from years' hard work. She beautiful. Realized shock, not fancy town women way, but wild things way. Practical, capable, real. Then felt bad noticing. Young enough daughter, came protection. Not what thinking. Sarah asked, catching stare. Nothing, Jacob said fast. Just tired. But later, lying bed while Sarah slept fire, Jacob admitted truth's self. Noticing Sarah more Thomas kid, more person helping. Noticing as woman terrified more blizzard mountain lion could. Third day storm, wind finally stopped. Ventured out, find world changed. Drifts high as cabin roof. Trees bent almost double ice weight. Sky clear bright blue. Beautiful, Sarah breathed, standing snow knees. Deadly, Jacob fixed. But even he admits something great, pristine white land. Need dig horses, check traps, sure roof, no damage. Work together, easy team they'd made. Sarah no need detailed tell. She guessed what do did. Jacob found relying her ways hadn't anyone 20 years. When checked trap line afternoon, found storm cruel kind. 2 traps buried need move, but 3 others had good furs. Fox, marten, lynx, fur thick, perfect. Jacob knew bring top price. Need go Pine Ridge soon, Jacob said, headed back cabin carrying catch. Supplies low, need trade pelts before bad. Felt Sarah tense beside. How soon? Asked. Week, maybe 2 if stretch, but need flour, coffee, salt, things can't make. Sarah quiet long moment. What if someone knows me? What if Holloway spread word? Jacob thinking that. Pine Ridge small, isolated. News slow this year time, even if someone heard. Mountain folks mind own. Won't ask questions, don't want answers. You hope, Sarah said. I hope, Jacob agreed. But no choice. Can't survive winter without supplies. That evening, Sarah quieter usual. Sat fire, staring flames, hands working leather piece. Softening new gloves. What afraid? Jacob asked at last. Sarah looked up, surprised, direct. That they'll find, take back, fought hard nothing. Won't take, Jacob said, more sure than felt. Won't let them. Can't promise, Sarah said. One man, Holloway's money power, and I, 20 years surviving conditions kill most, Jacob cut in. Knowledge country, no money buy. And have, he stopped, surprised what say. Have something worth protect now. Makes man dangerous ways money never. Sarah's eyes shone firelight. Why doing this? Really? Is just Dad? Jacob thought lying easy answer. But Thomas kid deserved truth, even if uncomfortable speak. First, yes, owed Thomas much. But now, Jacob looked direct. Now cause remind what like care someone besides self. Been here less month, changed all. Cabin just survive, spot starting, feel home. Days just enduring starting mean something. Jacob, Sarah started. Let finish, said. Too old you. 2 set ways. Damaged things can't change. But made remember what like alive instead just being gift didn't expect don't deserve. Sarah put down work stood going where Jacob sat table. Placed hand his shoulder, felt warmth through shirt. Not too old, said quiet. Not too damaged, deserve more than think. Dad saw. I see. Jacob covered her hand on, amazed, small, strong felt. Your dad optimist. My dad right you, Sarah said firm. Eventually you'll see too. Went back work. Jacob sat warmth her words, feeling shift inside him. Not quite hope, but maybe chance hope. Medicine pouch hung door. Filled herbs, body hurts. Seemed symbol now healing happening cabin. Not just bodies, but hearts thought beyond fix. Next morning, prepared journey Pine Ridge. Jacob showed Sarah pack travel smart, every item multiple uses. They take 2 horses leading pack animal pelts. We'll stay one night, Jacob said. There's boarding house run widow named Elena Brennan. She's fair, doesn't talk much. We'll tell her you're Thomas Whitmore's kid staying winter learn mountain skills. That's true enough. And if folks ask more, answer what have nothing more. Jacob said, thing mountain folks understand need privacy. Most came here get away something themselves. Set out cold clear morning, horse breath steaming frigid air. Journey Pine Ridge, take 2 days through mountain passes, frozen valleys. Jacob led, Sarah close behind. Both alert danger signs, animal human. As road, Jacob found explaining without ask which trees emergency shelter. How tell ice thick enough cross, where find water everything frozen. Sarah took all asking smart questions, making links he didn't expect. Good teacher, said stopped rest horses. Good student, Jacob said. Like Dad. Made camp first night Grove Pines, offered shelter wind. Jacob built fire while Sarah tended horses. Worked smooth, each knowing roll over simple meal, jerky hard bread. Talked small things, quality pelts carrying, weather patterns Jacob noticed, herbs Sarah want gather spring. Normal talk, but felt special Jacob, gone years without talking anyone. As fire burned low, stars came bright array. Sarah asked, Ever think going back Montana places new before? Jacob, quiet long time. Sometimes, but people knew gone, place wouldn't same. Memory makes things better than were. Montana, remember, doesn't exist anymore. If ever did, you regret coming here? Did first thought running coward, but now think maybe just surviving only way new. Sometimes taking self from spot isn't weak. Wisdom. Jacob looked Sarah across fire. Like you leaving Wyoming. Wasn't running. Choosing self over what others want you. Sarah pulled blanket tighter. Hope right? Some days wonder should accepted made best bad spot. No, Jacob said strong. Life lived someone else good isn't life. Just being. Dad understood. Taught value self enough fight deserve. Did. Sarah agreed soft. Wish here see listened. Knows, Jacob said. Wherever knows. Fell asleep under stars, fire low between, horses quiet nearby. Jacob woke once night, saw Sarah sleeping peaceful, face relaxed, rarely day. Felt fears protect rise, sure nothing happened, young woman rode 300 miles, find him. Failed Thomas leaving. Wouldn't fail Thomas kid letting anyone take back life didn't want. Whatever came, whatever cost, make sure Sarah chance choose own path. With promise self-memory boy believed him didn't believe self. Jacob Stone closed eyes, slept no dreams till dawn. They reached Pine Ridge just after noon second day. Settlement maybe 20 buildings along Frozen Creek, general store, saloon, boarding house, church, various homes outbuildings. Smoke rose, chimneys, cold air. Few people moved business. Wrapped cold. Jacob felt Sarah tense rode Main Street. Understood worry. After weeks alone mountains, other people felt pushy, maybe dangerous. Easy, said quiet. Let me talk. They stopped first general store, long building covered porch. Ezra Hawkins, owner, man 60s, face weathered decades mountain winters. Looked up ledger entered, eyes wide, seeing Jacob companion. Jacob Stone, Ezra said, real surprise. Didn't think see till spring. Supplies low, Jacob said simple. Ezra, this Sarah Whitmore. Thomas Whitmore's kid. Ezra's look shifted more respect. Thomas Whitmore, good guy. Heard past years back. Sorry, miss. Thank you, Sarah said quiet. She's staying winter, Jacob went on, learning high country manage. Need usual flour, coffee, salt, sugar if have got pelts trade, while Ezra checked pelts, nodding nice quality. Jacob noticed others store giving curious looks. Two women by fabric whispered each other. Old Gold Hunter by tobacco stared open. Fine pelts, Ezra said at last. Links especially. Give fair credit cover supplies some more. Did deal quick 2 men done business years. As Ezra's son loaded supplies pack horse, Ezra leaned close, Jacob. Been talk, said quiet. Strangers came week ago asking young woman alone. Said disturbed, ran family, offered money info. Jacob jaw tight. What tell? Nothing. Hadn't seen matching, true then. Ezra glanced Sarah, checking fabric forced. But others might not careful words. Thought no. Thanks, Jacob said. As stepped store, woman voice called, Jacob Stone, really you with woman? Nina Brennan stood porch boarding house across street. Maybe 55. Iron gray hair face could stern kind, mood. Now looked happy curious same. Eleanor, Jacob said, leading Sarah across street. This Sarah Whitmore, Eleanor finished, eyes sharp smart. Thomas Whitmore's girl, I heard. News fast small town. She smiled Sarah warm. Your dad stayed my boarding house once 15 years ago. Gentleman paid bill time, makes memorable my business. Sarah relaxed bit. Nice meet you, ma'am. Come inside, Eleanor said, waving door. Got hot coffee, fresh bread. Imagine both use something not cooked campfire. Boarding house, warm, clean, simple, comfy stuff. Eleanor led table dining room, brought coffee, thick bread slices, butter jam. Sarah's eyes bright at real jam, something no mountains. Now then, Nena said, sitting them. Imagine story here. Old pretend not curious. But old know when not ask questions. So say this. If need rooms night, 2 available. And if need someone knows keep mouth shut, that's available. Jacob grateful, Eleanor straight. 2 rooms good and care appreciated. Eleanor nodded. Men came last week, sort didn't like. Too smooth, too sure. Kind think money makes better everyone. Staying saloon Willow Creek 30 miles south, or were when left here. Thanks info, Sarah said quiet. Your dad good man, Nena said, voice softer. And Jacob here, despite hermit, barely talks anyone. Decent. Enough me, now eat up then show rooms. Both look could use real night sleep actual bed. After eating, Lanina led upstairs. Gave Sarah, room front, small clean, real bed window looked street. Jacob's room next, same size. There's bathroom and hall. Elena said, hot water extra, suspect both want. I'll heat some. When Elena left, Jacob turned Sarah. Stay room tonight. Don't walk town alone. Not child, Sarah said, bit mad eyes. No, but someone folks looking. This town, small, eyes everywhere. Jacob's voice firm. Not control you, keep safe. Sarah's look softened. No, sorry. I hate hiding. Feel done wrong when haven't. No, Jacob said. But sometimes right thing, safe thing, not same. Tomorrow get business done, head back mountains. One more day, that's all. Sarah nodded slow. One more day. That evening, after hot bath made Jacob feel almost normal, went saloon, not drink. Learned lesson years ago, but listen. Saloons where info flowed, learn wider world. Pine Ridge Saloon, small, smoky dozen men tables. Jacob knew most. Trappers, gold hunters, few ranch hands, lower valleys. Ordered coffee bar, ignoring knowing looks men remembered ordered whiskey instead. Clayton Pierce, old rancher worked mountains longer Jacob, waved over table. Stone, Clayton said. Heard came down company. News. Thomas Whitmore's kid, Jacob said, sitting. Teaching survive high country. Clayton's worn face smiled. Teaching? What calling now? Exactly calling, Jacob said, cool. Her dad friend. Honoring memory. Clayton held hands. No offense. Just surprised see any company after years? Figured taking vow alone something. Not vow, just like Jacob sipped coffee. Heard Strangerstown last week. Were, Clayton said, face dark. 3 men Wyoming. Rich boys acting tough. Asking runaway girl, saying disturbed. Need return family, own good. What folks tell? Most nothing. Don't like outsiders, demands money. Clayton leaned close. But always someone talk right price. Dutch Miller, prospector always half drunk. Told seen young woman heading north high country. Didn't know valley, pointed general way. Jacob's hands tight coffee cup. When? 5 days ago. Headed next morning supplies week. If smart, turn back now. But stubborn, Clayton shrugged. Could still looking. Jacob felt cold dread stomach. If Holloway's men mountains looking Sarah might find cabin. Even if not before weather turn no general area. Come spring back. Thinking what I'm thinking? Clayton asked. Got trouble coming. Could city boys froze Death Gully somewhere? Clayton studied Jacob. This girl means something you. Jacob thought answer careful. Someone needs help I can give. That's not asked. All saying, Jacob said. Clayton nodded slow. Fair enough. Just careful, Stone. Men money don't like no, especially don't like losing think own. Jacob left saloon short after mind-working possibilities preps. If Holloway's men found cabin, need ready. Need make sure Sarah knew do. Where go things bad? Crossing street back boarding house heard raised voices. 2 young men, ranch hands look, standing outside general store. One gesturing wild. Telling you, saw her window, man saying. Pretty thing with old Stone, wonder arrangement got. Companion laughed rude. Maybe hermit's not dead below belt thought. Jacob felt anger hot sudden. Spent 20 years avoiding fights, walking from poke. But hearing Sarah's name, pulled mudmen knew nothing her situation, different. Crossed where men stood, approached quiet, didn't notice till right front. Something want say about Miss Whitmore? Jacob asked, voice calm fake. Men turned, startled. First bold from drink sneered. Just wondering young like shacked up old man mountains. Makes wonder. Jacob's fist moved before decided. Punch caught man square jaw, sending stumbling back friend. Both down tangle limbs. Lady Thomas Whitmore's daughter, Jacob said, voice hard iron. Learning mountain skills under protection. Anyone says different answer me. Clear? First man got feet, hand jaw, eyes wide shock. Expected anger maybe, not hit from 60s guy. We didn't mean nothing. Yes did, Jacob cut. Now no better. Clayton Pierce came saloon drawn noise. Problem here, Stone? No problem, Jacob said, not taking eyes off 2 ranch hands. Just mix up cleared. Men nodded fast hurried street. Jacob stood moment, hand throbbing, connected bone, adrenaline still through. Feel better? Clayton asked, fun voice. No, Jacob said, but needed saying fist. Sometimes only language heard. Jacob flexed hand, wincing. Probably bruised knuckles. Too old this. Move quick, old man, Clayton said. But right. Fighting street not smart. Word spread. People looking girl here. Protective her. Tells them something. Jacob nodded grim. No, but couldn't let stand. Back boarding house, Elena waiting lobby. Took one look, Jacob's face shook head. Guess. Someone said wrong about young friend, decided teach fists. News travels fast, Jacob muttered. Always? Elena gestured sit. Went fetch cloth some ice. Went back, wrapped ice cloth, handed. Put hand before swells bad. Jacob did, grateful straightway. Shouldn't hit him. Probably not, Eleanor agreed. But understand why did mountain men talk rough, most harmless. Still, young woman rep fragile, did right defending. Not just rep worry, Jacob said. People looking her. Men money think claim her. Elena sat across, face serious. Men came last week, yes. Told Sarah's uncle promised marriage, paid money seal deal. Then came collect, she refused. Ran. Good her, Elena said firm. Woman should right choose own life. Agree. But law might not see, especially money changed hands. Elena quiet moment thinking, Sarah needs guardian, someone legal power speak her. Dad dead but leave will? Jacob blinked. Don't know, never said. If named someone besides Uncle Guardian that beat any deal Uncle made, Elena stood. Talk Sarah morning. If Thomas Whitmore, careful remember, might plan this. Why helping? Jacob asked. Eleanor smiled. Because lived long, no love shows unexpected spots. An age just number when two people really care each other. Not. Jacob started protest. Isn't? Eleanor cut gentle. Saw how looked her dining room, how you maybe not admitted selves yet, but they're nothing wrong. Despite what small minds say, Jacob felt heat face. Young enough daughter. Grown woman survived loss, hard, 300-mile trip, dangerous land, find you. Not child. Someone knows own mind. Elena patted shoulder. Don't let fear others think stop living, Jacob. Been alone long enough. Left sitting, ice hand, uncomfortable truths mind. Convinced feeling Sarah pure protect, born link dad. But honest, true honest, more. Cared, not just Thomas kid, not just under protect, but Sarah self. Strength, grit, kindness. Way listened, talked, really listened, like words matter. Way transformed cabin hermit's cave, something felt home. Terrified, more hallways threat could. Next morning, Jacob woke early, found Elena kitchen making breakfast. Sarah down short after, rested but tired. How hand? Sarah asked, noticing bruised Jacob's knuckles. Fine, Jacob said. Just mix up last night. Elena set plates, eggs, bacon front. Mix up where Jacob defended honor fists, Sarah's eyes wide. What? Some ranch hands talking loose, Jacob said. Uncomfortable attention. Corrected. You hit someone talking me. Sarah looked between thanks worry. Jacob could hurt arrested. Fine won't talk like again. Jacob met eyes. Won't let anyone disrespect you, Sarah. Not while around. Something passed between them moment, understanding beyond words. Elena watched knowing eyes, said nothing. After breakfast, Elena pulled Sarah aside. Jacob watched talk quiet corner, saw Sarah's face shift surprise, hope, something relief. When rejoined, Sarah's eyes bright. Dad left will said. Forgot, but Eleanor reminded. He filed her years ago, stayed here. Named Eleanor my legal guardian if anything him. Which means, Eleanor added, any deal made Sarah's uncle without no consent invalid. Have papers prove. Jacob felt relief. Changes everything. Does, Elena agreed. If men back, legal ground stand. Sarah under guardianship, choosing spend winter learning you. Nothing wrong, illegal that. Spent rest morning Elena's table, going details guardianship. Eleanor got will safe. Thomas Whitmore thorough, naming Eleanor specific, noting brother no power over daughter. Your dad smart man. Elena said Sarah knew brother couldn't trust. Wish told, Sarah said quiet. Probably thought time, Eleanor said. We all think more time due. By midday ready leave? Jacob had supplies loaded, horses rested fed. Eleanor stood porch, watching prepare go. Come back need anything, told Sarah. And you, fixed Jacob's stern look. Take care her yourself. Not young think throwing punches street. Remember, Jacob said dry as road out Pine Ridge. Sarah quiet. Jacob let thoughts till clear settlement back open country. What thinking? Asked finally grateful, Sarah said. Elena you? Fact Dad planned ahead even though never told. Feels like paused, searching words. Like not alone. Like people care happens me. There are, Jacob said simple. Road friendly, quiet, while horse hooves crunch snow, sun weak present winter sky. Jacob mind drifting what Elena said love showing unexpected places, not letting fear stop living. Built life round fear. Realized fear loss, fear pain, fear caring too much? Thought alone safe, but maybe just another prison. Jacob. Sarah's voice pulled thoughts. Yes, thank everything. Letting stay, teaching, defending. No not wanted someone mess life. Jacob thought response careful. First, right. Didn't want mess, but now looked riding beside, strong, determined, more capable than month ago. Now glad came. Reminded things forgot. Like what? Like care someone other self. Like purpose beyond surviving. Like live instead just be. Jacob smiled, bit. Dad gave once. Now giving again? Sarah reached, touched arm brief. Show like thanks. He'd happy we found each other. Yes, Jacob agreed. Would. They made camp night same Pine Grove. Stop journey down, but mood lighter somehow. Despite news Holloway's men searching Sarah plan now. Legal protect allies count. Sat fire, Sarah asked. What happened spring? When pass clear men back. We'll ready, Jacob said, and have Elena's papers prove exactly where supposed doing exactly want. If don't care papers, Jacob's face hard. Then learn what happens, try take something mountain man. Peaks home, 20 years. Know every valley, every pass, every place man hide make stand. If want trouble, give more bargained. Sarah smiled fierce, protect his voice. Believe. That night, lying separate bedrolls, fire burning between, Jacob stared stars thinking silver wedding band still wore. Carried Margaret 23 years, let memory define every choice. But maybe time let go. Not forget her. Never forget, but allow self-possible forward. Margaret wanted that. Never selfish. Never wanted sacrifice decades grief. Tomorrow, decided. Tomorrow take off ring, not reject had, but accept what might possible. Time stop living past, start living present. All uncertainty, risk, potential, joy beside. Sarah slept peaceful, trusting keep watch, trusting keep safe. And Jacob Stone spent 20 years trusting no one nothing, found wanted worthy trust more wanted anything long time. Returned cabin late afternoon second day, both glad back familiar spots. Journey no event. But Jacob found constant scanning land, alert sign men might search Sarah. Cabin felt different now, warmer somehow, more welcome. Sarah right away made coffee, heating stew prepared before left. Jacob tended horses, checking careful strain journey. That evening, after eaten settled fire, Jacob did something thought since talk night before. Reached, slowly pulled silver wedding band finger. Sarah noticed right away. Jacob time, said quiet, looking ring palm. Worn smooth, words inside hard red after 23 years wear. Been holding past tight, couldn't see present. Margaret wouldn't wanted that. Stood moved small woodbox, kept old photo. Placed ring inside, next image wife, daughter, closed lid gentle. Always love them, Jacob said, voice rough emotion. But ready stop using love wall everything else. Sarah stood came side. Didn't say anything, just put hand his. Fingers warm, alive, real. Jacob squeezed, gentle, grateful comfort, understanding. Your dad proud you, said, looking down. Grown stronger every day here. Not scared girl showed snow. Someone survive anything. Had good teacher? Sarah said, eyes his. Maybe not looking just survival. Maybe looking something more. Air between felt charged, full unsaid chances. Jacob knew should step back, keep right distance. But first time 20 years didn't want. Wanted close distance, take risk, allow self-chance connect. Sarah began, but she put fingers soft his lips. Don't, said soft. Don't talk out this. Don't give reasons too old, broken to anything. Know who are Jacob Stone, seen most open strongest. Choose you. Choose this. Barely know, Jacob said weak. Know enough. No kind even try hide. No brave even claim just surviving. No defend care about. Even means hurt self. Sarah's hand moved cheek, rough beard. No alone long enough, we both. 3 days after finding boot prints, men came. Jacob splitting wood behind cabin when heard horses. He froze, axe mid-swing, every sense alert. Sarah inside making bread, could smell baking. Rifle leaning woodpile 20 feet away. Moved quick, careful, getting weapon checking load. Then circled cabin, putting self-seafront come while hid behind wood stack. 4 riders came tree line, 3 rough men heavy coats, kind make living others dirty work. But 4th, younger, dressed nice, even wild riding horse cost more most make year, had James Holloway. Jacob seen type before. Rich sons thought money good looks gave whatever wanted. Kind never told no, couldn't get word when finally heard. Rider stopped 50 feet cabin. Holloway looked building distaste, like couldn't believe anyone choose live primitive. Stone, Holloway called. Jacob Stone, no here. See smoke chimney. Jacob stayed hid, watching, waiting. Learned patience mountains, knowing when moves stay still mean life death. Not here cause trouble? Holloway went on, voice carry easy cold air. Just hear what's mine. Send Sarah Whitmore, leave peaceful. Back solitary life, everyone happy. Inside cabin, Jacob knew Sarah heard. Told what do if moment came. Stay quiet, low, keep spare rifle loaded ready. Hoped listen. Mr. Stone. One hired man said, hand casual pistol. Do easy hard, choice. Jacob stepped behind woodpile, rifle ready not aimed. Far enough, said voice calm. State business ride on. Holloway's eyes locked him, checking. So here good. Said, here's Sarah Whitmore. Promise family coming back us. Lady not going where doesn't want, Jacob said. Lady, Holloway said sneer. No choice. Family paid good money, clear debts. That makes her have honor deal. Deal didn't agree, made man no legal right make. Holloway's face changed, surprise flash. What talking? Sarah's dad left will, filed legal. Named guardian other uncle. Any deal without guardians, okay, invalid. Jacob stepped forward. So, no claim. Time ride on. Three hired men looked each other, unsure, but Holloway's face dark mad. Lying. Trying protect little setup here. Everyone Pine Ridge talking. Old hermit, young girl alone mountains makes man wonder what's really. Jacob felt fury chest, kept voice even. What's none concern? Sarah Whitmore under legal guardianship, learning wilderness skills, staying chooses. Now off property. Property? Holloway laughed. Squatting public land, old man. No more right here, anyone. Been here 20 years, Jacob said. Gives all right need, Holloway gestured. One hired men started get down. Going inside cabin, taking Sarah us. Stand aside, get hurt. Either way, leaving came. Jacob raised rifle, aiming straight Holloway chest. Take one more step, cabin, put bullet employer, then reload one each you. Drop 4 before draw, will if make. Hired men froze. Might willing face danger money, but facing man comfy killing, different. Bluffing, Holloway said, but unsure voice now. Really not, Jacob said. 63 years old, survived mountains 20 years. Think done being soft? Test, please. Tense quiet stretched. Horses moved nervous, sensing violence, cold air. Then cabin door opened, Sarah stepped out. No, Jacob said sharp, but ignored. Walked forward till stood beside, head high, jaw set line, reminded Jacob strong her dad. Mr. Holloway, Sarah said, voice clear steady. Never marry. Not hold gunhead. Not threaten Jacob. Not drag Wyoming chains. Rather die these mountains spend one day wife. Holloway's face read mad humiliation. Broke nose. Ran made look fool front everyone know? Don't care what people saying you, Sarah said. Don't care pride, reputation, family's money. Care living life my terms don't include you. Uncle took money. Uncle no right take money make deals behalf. Legal guardianship dad's will. Any contract think worthless. Sarah pulled folded paper pocket, copy guardianship docs Elena gave. Filed territorial court. Ride county seat check don't believe. Holloway stared paper, dream's own crumbling eyes. Then face twisted ugly. Fine, said. Can't have legal other ways. Accidents happen, mountains don't. People vanish, no one asks. Old hermits especially, no family, no miss them. Jacob felt ice down spine. No longer marriage money. Spoiled man pride made far dangerous. Threatening us? Sarah asked, voice sharp. Stating facts, Holloway said. Mountains dangerous. Anything could happen. Without protector here, gestured Jacob. Vulnerable. Need help. Need someone turn. Insane, Sarah said. Determined, Holloway fixed. Always get one eventually. Turned horse. Back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. Watching, waiting moment. Can't stay alert forever, old man. Sooner later, slip. When due. Left threat hanging, he men rode away, gone back tree line. Jacob Sarah stood frozen, watching till riders out sight. Then Jacob grabbed Sarah's arm, pulled toward cabin. Inside now, once behind closed door, Jacob paced caged animal. Foolish coming out. Told stay hidden. Couldn't let face alone, Sarah said. Threatened us, Sarah. Much said kill get you. Not marriage anymore. Something worse. Sarah sat chair, adrenaline leaving shaky. What do? Jacob made self think clear despite fear gut. Can't stay. Meant said coming back. Cabin defensible, only to us. Something me he couldn't finish. Nothing happened you, Sarah said firm. Can't know. Ambush, rifle shot, trees, dozen ways, man killed someone determined. Jacob went window, scanning tree line. Need get somewhere safe. Elena's boarding house, Pine Ridge, even farther if need. Not leaving, Sarah said. Sarah, no. Stood facing. Not running more, not leaving alone face. In together. Remember, promised wouldn't run. Making same promise. Figure together, not all, Jacob wanted argue. Insist reasonable protect only way knew, getting away danger. But looking face, determination, courage, knew wouldn't go. Thomas Kidd inherited stubborn strength. Prepare, Jacob said at last. Set defenses, watch times, make cabin secure possible, send word Elena Clayton. Let know happening. If Holloway tries, need allies know where facing. Spent rest day making cabin strong. Jacob showed Sarah make barriers, windows quick use, set tripwires alert approaching, moved supplies inside, checked ammo again, made emergency packs case flee fast. As evening came, worked firelight. Sarah asked question, weighing both. What if really try kill? What if then run? Jacob said firm. Take roan, follow trail showed, ride like hell Pine Ridge. Eleanor protect, Clayton make sure Holloway faces justice leave dead snow. Sarah's voice broke. Can't do that, Jacob. Won't. Jacob crossed, taking face hands. Listen, if something me, survive. Find way keep living. Build life deserve. Don't let death nothing. Promise Sarah, tears down face. Not fair. Just found you. Started. Couldn't finish. No, Jacob said, pulling close. But life not fair. Both know that. All do fight everything hope enough. Held each other firelight. Both scared, both set. Both knowing peace found hanging thread. Holloway's visit changed all. Revealed not rejected guy, something more dangerous, man pride, mattered more human life. That night took turns watch. Sarah's turn, sat window rifle lap, staring dark. Somewhere mountains, James Holloway planning next move. She, Jacob, would ready-made. Jacob, no sleep despite tired, lay bed thought silver wedding band finally removed. Took off signal, ready move forward, open new chances. Now wondered done too late. Wasted too much time, lose everything again. Fully saw found. No told self firm, wouldn't think. Fought mountain lions, blizzards, bone deep lonely 20 years. Could fight one spoiled rich man, thought money made invincible. Had something Holloway didn't. Had mountains side. Had Sarah fighting beside. Holloway thought dealing broken old man hiding world. About learn hermit had teeth threatening what loved fastest way find how sharp teeth be. Mountains taught Jacob survive. Sarah reminded survival for. Together face whatever. Next courage, determination, fierce protect people, finally found something worth fighting. Day after Holloway's threat, Jacob made journey down Pine Ridge alone. Sarah wanted come, insisted stay behind rifle barricaded cabin. Couldn't shake feeling separating, even short, exactly Holloway wanted. But no choice. Elena need no facing, messages anyone else couldn't trust. Rode hard, pushing bay gelding Sam fast dared icy trails. Whole time mind raced worst cases. What if Holloway's men doubled back cabin gone? What if watching right now, waiting this chance? But reached Pine Ridge record time, settlement quiet, almost peaceful. Went straight Elena's boarding house. Found her Clayton Pierce sharing coffee dining room. Jacob, Elena said, reading face right. What happened? He told all. Holloway's visit, threats, clear hint violence if Sarah couldn't claimed peaceful. Clayton's face dark anger while Elena's deep worry. Boy needs hard lesson, Clayton muttered. Thinks money right threaten decent. Problem not inside law anymore, Jacob said. Knows no legal claim, fallen back intimidation implied violence. Makes unpredictable dangerous. Elena stood went office back guardianship docs. Made multiple copies. Sending one territorial marshal's office, one county seat, keeping one here. If anything you, Sarah, clear legal record showing under guardianship chose stay you. Won't stop bullet, Jacob said grim. No, Elena agreed. But ensure anyone fires bullet hangs. Clayton leaned forward. Need more legal protect. Practical help. Round 5-6 men, good men, won't take kind some Wyoming rich boy threatening own. Sarah only here months, Jacob said. Not own. Hell isn't, Clayton said firm. Under Elena's guardianship, makes part community. You trading us 20 years. Might keep self, doesn't mean don't claim ours. If Holloway wants trouble, get more bargained. Jacob felt warm, unexpected chest. Thanks, belonging, realize even after 20 years isolation. Wasn't alone. These barely knew willing stand. Don't want anyone hurt our account, Jacob said quiet. Then make sure no one, Elena said. Starting you, Sarah. Clayton's right. Need help. At least need someone else cabin. Someone watch back. I'll go, Clayton said. Too old winter ranching anyway, boys handle without while. Jacob wanted refuse insist handle alone, but pride luxury couldn't afford. Not Sarah's safety balance. Appreciate, said at last. Spent next hour planning. Clayton ride back Jacob, well-armed, ready to defend cabin if need. Ele la nena spread word network trappers, settlers, Holloway persona non grata region. Any help try hire local refused. Any supplies try buy denied. Make territory too bad him work. Ele la nena said, grim happy. Either give up, make mistake. Either way, ready. Jacob ready leave when Ezra Hawkins hurried boarding house, face red urgency. Jacob something need know. 2 more men rode morning asking you girl. Said working Holloway, offering $50 anyone give info routines, defenses when most open. Jacob's blood cold. Anyone talk? Dutch Miller, Ezra said disgust. Drunk always, happy cell neighbor drinking money. Told usually check trap line early morning, girl alone cabin least 2 hours. When? Jacob demanded hour ago. Rode out north right after. Jacob moving before Ezra done speaking. Clayton right behind. Hit door running, mounting horses kicking gallop despite dangerous ice. Sarah alone. Holloway's men knew alone, least hour head start. Jacob's mind raced road, calculating times distances. If men left hour ago, been town nearly 2 hours, could already cabin. Sarah capable, armed, knew do danger. But against multiple attackers, pushed Sam harder, horse responding despite tricky ground. Clayton kept pace beside, both leaning forward, urging speed mounts. Journey took Jacob 2 hours, morning took barely 90 minutes return. But 90 minutes felt forever, each second stretching Jacob's imagination worse scenarios. When finally reached valley-held cabin, Jacob slowed, gesturing Clayton same. Need approach careful, check before charging blind. Tied horses protected hollow quarter-mile cabin, proceeded foot, moving quiet snow timber. They approached back, they neared back cabin near woodpile, heard voices, male voices, pushy demanding. Don't care, papers got, Mr. Holloway wants back Wyoming. That's where going. Not going anywhere, you. Sarah's voice, strong despite fear, must through her. We easy hard, miss. Choice. Jacob caught Clayton's eye, gestured. Go front, Clayton back window. Risk, but surprise side. Surprise often deciding fight. Moved front corner cabin, checking pistol, cavalry pistol cleaned, loaded first time years. Rifle still Clayton, better shot distance. Jacob 3 deep breaths, centering. Stepped corner, kicked cabin door open. Scene inside froze like picture. 3 men stood rough triangle around Sarah, back fireplace, holding cast iron pan weapon. Face defiant, jaw set, but Jacob see fear eyes. All 3 men turned Jacob, hands toward weapons. But Jacob pistol leveled, sound Clayton's rifle cocked back, window stopped all cold. Don't, Jacob said quiet. Don't even think about. Lead man, stocky scar cheek, froze hand, halfway gun. Ain't business, old man. Here legit business. Nothing legit, 3 armed men threatening woman-owned home, Jacob said. Voice calm, but hand steady pistol, eyes cold. Now back away, lady, real slow, ride out here. Ever see property again, won't accommodating. Holloway paying good money, one other man started. Not enough die, Clayton's voice window. Got you covered. Jacob cavalry scout. Drop 3 before draw. Want test? Bluffing, scarred man said. Seeing eyes made reconsider. We're doing job. Go find different job, Jacob said. This get killed, tense quiet stretched. Then, slow 3 men back door, hands visible. Jacob moved let pass, never lowering pistol, never eyes off. Mounted horses, scarred man looked back. Holloway not like. Send more men. Let try, Jacob said. Next time not polite. Men rode, Jacob watched, disappeared, tree line. Only holstered pistol turned Sarah. Dropped pan, ran him arms around. Thought going take me. Thought no, Jacob said, holding tight. No. Sorry left alone. Won't again. Clayton climbed back window, rifle hand. Close. Too damn close. Jacob nodded grim. Not over. Right. Send more men or come self enough force can't turn back. Then what, Sarah asked, pulling back look. Jacob sat table heavy, sudden feeling 63 years. Can't keep defense. Every turn back man gets madder, more set. Eventually come enough force strategy can't stop. Then run, Sarah said. Disappear deeper mountains. Running no good either, Clayton said. Winter worst now. Try move these conditions kill both. Holloway track spring anyway. Jacob thought old cavalry pistol weapon thought never need. Thought Margaret Annie Thomas losses brought mountain 20 years ago. Came hide pain, avoid risk carrying anyone again. But Sarah changed. Reminded meant something worth protect, worth fight. Sometimes only way true protect something face threat head, and decisive instead, constant run defend. Another option, Jacob said slow. We take fight him. Clayton raised brows. Want go after Holloway. Bold. Necessary, Jacob said. In Willow Creek, 30 miles south, probably best hotel got. Living comfy sends others dirty work. Ride there. Face public. Make clear front witnesses any more action. Sarah met immediate, overwhelming response. Dangerous, Sarah said. Could arrest? Claim threatened? Could try. Jacob agreed. But Ellen sending guardianship papers, territorial marshal. Now. Reached office, Willow Creek. Walk their legal docs, community support. Put Holloway notice one breaking law. Not us. Clayton nodded slow. Could work? Especially bring enough men make clear not just hermit girl. Dealing community won't take behavior. How many men gather? Jacob asked. Tomorrow, maybe 8-10 spread word tonight. Good men all. Trappers, ranchers, prospectors. Kind don't take kind rich boys throwing weight. Clayton stood. Ride town now. Start gathering. You, Sarah, stay here. Stay safe. Tomorrow morning, ride South Force. After Clayton left, Jacob, Sarah barred door windows, sat together fire. Adrenaline wearing, leaving shaky tired. So scared, Sarah said. Men came, realized not here, didn't know ever see again. Handled perfect, Jacob said, taking hand. Stayed calm. Defended self. Didn't give wanted. Thomas proud. Sarah leaned head shoulder. Keep thinking how close. If even 10 minutes later, but wasn't, Jacob cut gentle. Tomorrow end. Face Holloway. Make clear threats won't work. Money won't work. Men won't work. Over. What if doesn't listen? What if too proud back down? Jacob quiet long. Then make understand pride not worth life. One way another, ends tomorrow. That night no sleep. Kept watch shifts, but even hours not official watch, neither rest true. Too much adrenaline, too much fear, too much know everything change instant. As dawn came, Jacob stood window, watching sky lighten black, gray, pale blue winter morning. Behind, Sarah checking weapons, sure loaded ready. Scared? Asked quiet, terrified, Jacob said. But not Holloway. Scared losing. Found precious ripped before fully appreciate. Sarah crossed, arms around behind. Then fight keep. Fight everything. Jacob turned face, cupping face hands. When over if survive, something want ask. Important. Ask now, Sarah said. No. When Holloway gone safe, think future without fear over. Then ask, hopefully say yes. Sarah smiled, tears forming eyes. Say yes. Whatever ask, answer yes. Stood together, sun rose, warming frozen land, golden light. Somewhere south, James Holloway waking, probably planning next move, probably still sure money status win end. But wrong. Dealing people survived loss, hard, cruel world, no care. Dealing people found something worth protect, wouldn't back, wouldn't deal, wouldn't give what built together. By mid-morning, Clayton backed 9 men. Jacob knew most. Trappers traded years, ranchers lower valleys, even old Ezra Hawkins' shotgun across saddle. Weathered, tough men knew mountains, understood, stand neighbors. Ready? Clayton asked. Jacob looked Sarah, nodded firm. Looked men come stand. Strangers willing risk what right. Ready? Jacob said. Mounted road South Willow Creek, confrontation ending. Cavalry pistol heavy Jacob's hip, reminder man been before grief isolation. Man new fight lead face danger head. Time remember skills. Time stop running start stand ground. Because Sarah Whitmore worth fighting, life building together worth protect any cost. Mountains watched ride, silent eternal always. And Jacob Stone hidden mountains 20 years, finally riding back world. Not retreat time, defiance, ready face whatever. Ready fight what mattered. Ready, prove, love, courage, overcome, money, pride, kind, entitled arrogance. Thought people owned. Tomorrow bring confrontation. Tomorrow decide all. But today, riding South Sarah beside good men back. Jacob Stone felt something hadn't decades. Hope. Willow Creek, larger Pine Ridge. Proper town brick buildings, population swelled. Summer months, prospectors came, high country spend findings. Now, dead winter, quieter, still big, maybe 200 people, hotel, 2 saloons, bank, marshal's office. Jacob's group rode midday, horses' breath steaming cold air. People stopped watch 12 riders Main Street tight group. Not aggressive, but not friendly. Looked serious purpose. Clayton pointed Golden Eagle Hotel, finest spot town. Holloway's staying. Took best suite had. Tied horses outside hotel mounted steps covered porch. Jacob paused door looking companions. Let talking. No one draws weapon unless Holloway's men first. About making position clear, not starting war. Men nodded agree. Jacob pushed door-stepped hotel warmth. Lobby decorated velvet furniture, brass stuff fancier Jacob seen years. Clerk desk looked up, eyes wide, so many rough men entering once. "Help, gentlemen?" Clerk asked, nervous. "See James Holloway," Jacob said. "Room?" "Not sure, give info, son," Clayton said, kind. "Not cause trouble, have talk." "Tell room, knock every door, find." "Choice," clerk swallowed. "Second floor, room 7. "But Mr. Holloway meant him." "Counting," Jacob said. Climbed stairs, boots loud polished wood. Jacob's heart pounding, hands steady. Moment determine live piece or rest lives looking shoulders. "Room 7 and hall." Jacob knocked firm. 3 hard knocks echoed corridor. Voice inside, "Who it?" "Jacob Stone, need talk, Holloway." Pause, then sound multiple people moving inside. Door opened, crack 1, Holloway's hired men peered. "Scarred man cabin." "Got nerve showing," man said. "Open door," Jacob said. Ends now, one way other, door opened wider. Jacob stepped, companions following. Hotel room large, nice sitting area, bedroom beyond. James Holloway sat upholstered chair window, dressed expensive clothes, holding whiskey glass despite early hour. 4 hired men stood room, hands near weapons. Holloway looked Jacob. Sarah contempt mixed something else. Maybe fear, though trying hard hide. "Quite show force," Holloway said. "Afraid face alone." "Not afraid anything," Jacob said, but wanted witnesses conversation. "Men remember exactly said testify if need." "Testify what?" Holloway sipped whiskey, trying calm control. Jacob pulled guardianship papers, coat dropped table between. "Fact, Sarah Whitmore under legal guardianship. Any deal Uncle Noel void, chosen stay Colorado, own free will, any more tries force, threaten, harm her met legal action, physical fight." Holloway glanced papers, didn't pick. Legal docs challenged. Deals renegotiated. "Not this," Sarah said, stepping forward. "Dad's specific will. Didn't trust brother, made sure protected anything him. Ella Nena Brennan, legal guardian, supports decision stay exactly am this old hermit." Holloway sneered. "Living sin mountains? Life choosing over offered?" "Not living sin," Sarah said firm. "Learning wilderness skills man dad trusted. Yes, choosing over being property man, thinks money right own people." Holloway's face red mad. Stood sudden whiskey spilling. Broke nose. Humiliated. Made look fool front no. "Now come papers, hired men, thinking changes." "Not hired men," Jacob said quiet. "Neighbors. People live mountains, don't take kind outsiders threatening community. Been asking us. Trying hire local men, dirty work. How going?" Holloway's face dark. "No one work me godforsaken spot. All close ranks protecting own. Fine. Got men coming Wyoming. Real men. Not backward mountain folk. Be here week, maybe less." "What do?" Clayton asked. "Planning start war woman doesn't want." "Planning take mine," Holloway said. One way other, Jacob stepped forward, voice cold hard. "Sarah not yours. Never was never be. Send more men mountains. If threaten her me again, kill myself. Not hired guns. You. I'll track wherever run, put bullet you. Not threat, promise. Room silent." Holloway's hired men tense, but Jacob's companions ready, hands weapons. Math real clear. If shooting start, people both sides die. But Holloway almost sure one. "Can't threaten," Holloway said. "Voice no strong now." "Just did," Jacob said. And every man room heard. Also heard admit planning, send armed man, woman under legal protect. "That's kidnapping, Holloway. Hanging offense territory. Family lawyers. Family lawyers can't help dead," Clayton cut. "Can't change breaking law. Territorial Marshal's office copies guardianship docs. No Sarah staying voluntary. Any action take criminal." Holloway looked room, maybe realizing first miscalculated. Thought money determination enough overwhelm hermit girl. But facing more powerful, community, determination, people nothing lose. "Not over," Holloway said. "Try save dignity." "Yes," Sarah said firm. "Sorry pride hurt. Sorry wasted money deal never valid. But oh nothing. Not presence, not sorry, certainly not life. Go back Wyoming, Mr. Holloway. Find someone wants you. Leave alone." For moment, Holloway looked might say more, might make final threat. But shoulders dropped bit. Jacob saw suspected along, under arrogance entitlement. Just young man told no first time, didn't know handle. "Get out," Holloway said quiet. "All you, get my room." Jacob held gaze long moment, making sure message received understood. Nodded companions filed out, leaving Holloway standing alone, hired men, expensive hotel room, sudden felt more prison than fancy. Hallway, Clayton let breath holding. Well, could gone worse. Not finished, Jacob said. Back today doesn't mean won't try pride recovers. Maybe, Clayton agreed. But least made position clear witnesses now. Own men heard admit planning send armed men Sarah. Evidence if need. Descended stairs stepped cold afternoon air. Jacob felt tired, adrenaline gone leaving hollow. But not safe yet. Not till back mountains familiar ground. Moved horses. Voice called across street. Mr. Stone, Miss Whitmore. Man Marshal's badge approaching older, weathered, cautious power someone kept peace rough country many years. Marshal Harris, man said. Got Doc's Elena Brennan guardianship. Thought introduce let know aware situation. Appreciate, Marshal, Jacob said. Harris glanced hotel. James Holloway making nuisance since arrived, demands, throwing money, expecting special. Don't like men think wealth above law. Neither we, Sarah said. Doc's Mrs. Brennan sent order, Harris went on. Far concerned, exactly should, doing want. If Holloway anyone else bothers again, want know right away. Understood. Jacob nodded, feeling weight lift shoulders. Law side changed all. Understood, thank, Marshal. Don't thank. Just job. Harris touched hat. Safe travels mountains. Weather turning bad. Storm coming tomorrow, look clouds. Mounted road Willow Creek. Town falling behind, headed north home. No one spoke much ride. All processing happened, meant, truly over, just start something worse. Sarah rode beside Jacob, sometimes catching eye-sharing small smile. Faced Holloway together, stood ground, came unbroken. Count something. Approached past take-back high country, Clayton pulled Jacob. Did good back, old rancher said. Kept head, made point, didn't let grow bloodshed. Learned long ago best fights ones never have, Jacob said. But meant said. Comes after again, end. No will, Clayton said. So why think back off? Men like Holloway used way intimidation money. But meet someone really no care either, someone actually follow threats, scares more anything. Jacob hoped Clayton right, couldn't shake feeling not seen last James Holloway. Pride powerful push, wounded pride more. Made camp evening, same grove, Jacob Sarah stopped journeys Pine Ridge. Other men said own camp nearby, giving Jacob Sarah bit privacy while still safe. Sarah sat close fire, staring flames. Jacob see tension. Shoulders, way hands, shook bit, even tried hide. Not over, is? Asked quiet. Jacob wanted lie, tell everything fine, promised honest always. Don't know, said. Holloway back today, law side. But men like don't always think straight. Pride make do dumb things, so wait. Wonder when show again. No, Jacob said firm. Live. Build life want, stay alert, but don't let chance danger stop building what want here. Sarah leaned him, wrapped arm her shoulders. Tired fighting, admitted. Tired running, tired afraid. Want peace? No, Jacob said, pressing his top head. Will one way other, and will life deserve. Sat together firelight, finding comfort each presence. Simple fact, not alone. Tomorrow return cabin, back routines made. But something changed today. Stopped reacting, started acting, stopped hiding, started standing firm. Beginning, Jacob thought. Not end hoped, beginning ending. Sometimes all ask for. Courage face coming, strength stand ground, love someone stand beside, no matter came next. Returned cabin next afternoon, promised storm coming behind. Clayton, other men turned back pass, sure Jacob Sarah safe could now. But Clayton promised check regular, Jacob knew network mountain folk watching. Alert any sign Holloway return, cabin felt sanctuary. After tension, Willow Creek, Sarah set making coffee heating. Up stew, Jacob tended horses checked around, everything left. No more boot prints, no intrusion signs. Evening sat fire comfy quiet. Storm outside building. Wind howling peaks, snow falling earnest. Sealed least few days, felt blessing not trap. Time rest recover be. Think really give up? Sarah asked, breaking quiet. Jacob thinking question all day. Honest, don't know. Did everything right. Faced public, witnesses, showed not afraid. Some men, enough. But Holloway paused, picking words careful. Strike someone never accept defeat before. So do, prepare worst, hope best. Jacob said, keep weapons ready. Stay alert. And trust friends warn makes move. But also live, Sarah. Don't let possible danger stop building want here. Sarah moved closer, resting head shoulder. Said wanted ask something. After all over. Not over yet, Jacob said. Might never completely over, Sarah said. Might always something, threat, some uncertainty. Wait perfect safety, wait forever. Jacob back look. Firelight caught eyes, making shine. Right. Never perfect moment, Time all threats gone, future sure. Life didn't work way. Sarah Whitmore, Jacob said slow, heart pounding. 63 years old. Set ways, rough edges, spent most adult life running anything like connection. No right ask, you'd reasonable say no. Ask anyway, Sarah said, smiling, tears starting form. Will marry? Will stay mountains build life me? Can't promise easy comfort, anything most call normal life, but promise honest, loyal, love long breathing. Promise partner stand beside whatever comes. Promise every day you day grateful. Day proves life not over, just lived more left live. Sarah crying open, but smile bright. Yes, yes all. Mountains, hard life, you 1,000 times. Yes. Jacob pulled close kissed, soft first, then deeper. 20 years lonely grief fell, replaced hope connection, simple miracle loved loving back. When finally pulled apart, both breathless, both grinning fools. When? Sarah asked. When can? Sound outside cut off. Not when, something else? Crack branch breaking under weight. Distinct sound, someone try move quiet, snow failing. Jacob feet instant moving window. Sarah grabbed rifle, face sudden pale. Joy moment gone, replaced cold, real danger. Through window, Jacob see move tree line. Multiple figures coming different ways. Heart sank. Holloway not given. Just planning. How many? Sarah whispered. Least 6 see? Maybe more. Jacob moved door, checking bars set. Surrounding. Voice called dark. Holloway's voice changed. Matter, more desperate. Stone. Gave chance due easy. Should taken. Jacob no respond. Calculating angles, counting bullets, trying figure defend attack multiple ways. Got 8 men here, Holloway went on. All armed, all paid good risk fight. Send Sarah, will leave. Otherwise coming. Don't, Sarah said right. Jacob, don't think. Won't, Jacob said. But mind racing. 8 armed men too, odds bad. Cabin defensible, but only point. If set fire, if wait out, you got 1 minute decide. Holloway shouted. Jacob said sudden. One showed behind waterfall. If make, never find. Wait out. How get 8 men around cabin? Jacob moved back wall emergency supplies. Another option. Root cellar under cabin. Access trapdoor bedroom. Leads tunnel dug years ago case. Opens 50 yards woods, hidden dead wood. Use escape. Make way cave. Time up stone. Holloway's voice closer now. Go now, Jacob said, grabbing emergency packs. Quiet can, fast dare. Once out, don't stop running till cave. Get? Sarah nodded, face set grit. Moved bedroom, Jacob pulled rug show trap door made years ago. Opened darkness, narrow tunnel, barely wide person crawl. You first, Jacob said. Cover exit. Make sure don't know gone till clear. Sarah waited. Jacob go, said firm. Right behind, promise. Climbed dark, Jacob heard moving tunnel. Grabbed rifle, took last look cabin, home built together short months. Followed down, pulling trap door shut above. Tunnel cramped cold, earth pressing sides. Jacob crawled forward, following Sarah's move ahead. Behind heard shouting. Holloway's men losing patience, ready force way. Tunnel seemed forever, though Jacob knew only 60 feet. Finally saw Sarah outline faint light exit, pushing dead wood hid opening. Emerged snowy forest, Jacob followed moments. Heard crash cabin door broken. Holloway's mad voice asking where. Run, Jacob whispered. Did. Storm gave cover, snow thick hard sea feet ahead. Moved forest ghosts, using every wilderness no Jacob got 20 years. New woods, every trail creek hidden path. Behind, shouting broke Holloway's men saw cabin empty. Heard orders, men spread search. But storm, dark, finding 2 new land nearly impossible, reached frozen waterfall after 20 minutes hard run. Jacob led Sarah behind ice curtain cave beyond. Freezing inside, breath clouds, but shelter hidden. Won't find here, Jacob said quiet. Even search all night, won't think look behind waterfall. Sarah shivering, cold fear both. Jacob wrapped emergency blanket pack pulled close, sharing body heat. Sorry, said. Thought facing end. Didn't think crazy enough this not fault, Sarah cut. He one can't take no. He chose violence reason. Huddled together dark, listening storm rage outside. Jacob heard distant sounds. Men calling, horses moving forest, but sounds never close hiding place. Hours passed. Cave grew colder night deep. Jacob kept Sarah wrapped tight, using own body shield worst cold. Old cavalry training back. How stay warm brutal spots. How save energy. How wait patient right moment move. Jacob, Sarah whispered. What if find tunnel? What if waiting cabin go back? Then don't go back, Jacob said. Head Pine Ridge, get help, come back enough men, Holloway, no choice give up if burn cabin gone. Jacob quiet. Cabin held everything built 20 years. Tools, supplies, life. But looking Sarah arms realized none matter much thought did. Then rebuild said simple. Just wood nails. What matters alive together. Everything else replaced. Sarah pulled back look, eyes shining dark. Really mean, really do. 20 years ago came mountains thinking if isolate enough, protect heart enough, never hurt again. But wrong. Not protecting heart. Killing slow. You brought back life, Sarah. Showed missing. Cabin stuff, even mountains. None means anything without someone's share. Love you, Sarah said soft. Should said before, but love Jacob Stone. Love too, Jacob said. Words strange natural? Hadn't said anyone since Margaret hadn't thought ever would. Went over, went safe, getting married, not waiting perfect time, ideal spots. Just us whoever find do ceremony. Eleanor, Sarah said right she should. And Clayton, then do. Jacob pulled close. But first survive night. Then figure end. As dawn came, search sounds faded. Either Holloway's men gave night or moved search different spot. Jacob waited full daylight before say move. Head Pine Ridge, said. Hard day travel weather, but make. Get help. Get Marshall involved in proper law side enough force Holloway can't fight. Emerged cave world change storm. Least 2 feet fresh snow everything, temp dropped bad, but sun rising painting white land pink gold. Jacob led Sarah Forest, taking paths used years, ways invisible anyone didn't know exact look. Moved steady, saving energy, staying alert Holloway's men. By mid-morning, put miles between cabin. Jacob's legs hurt effort-breaking trail deep snow, could see Sarah struggling despite grit. Stopped, protected hollow rest, eat dried meat emergency pack. How much farther? Sarah asked. Another 4 hours if weather holds, Jacob said. Making good time. Sound made freeze. Voices close, closer Jacob liked. Gestured quiet, crouched low, hidden land snow brush. 2 Holloway's men appeared. Path take within 50 yards, Jacob Sarah's spot. Talking, voices carry cold air. Waste time. Could anywhere now. Holloway paying search, so search. But right. Probably halfway next territory. Hope. Cold going, kill somebody, stay longer. Men passed without seeing. Jacob waited. Voices faded complete before standing. Need move faster, said. If searching far, Holloway serious finding. Pushed, moving quick deep snow let. Sun climbed higher, giving little warmth but decent sea. Jacob guided landmarks memorized years. Distinct rock. Lightning hit pine, frozen creek bent certain way. By mid-afternoon, spotted Pine Ridge Valley below. Smoke rose chimneys. Jacob never grateful see small settlement. Almost safe, almost home. They went final slope, entered town, getting curious looks few people brave outside bitter cold. Jacob headed straight Elena's boarding house, burst door cloud, snow cold air. Elena looked mending, eyes wide. Jacob, Sarah, what earth? Then saw faces, read right. Clayton called. Get here now. Minutes, seated Elena's fire, wrapped blankets, hot coffee hands. Jacob told story quick. Holloway's visit, escape. Night cave, continued search. Clayton's face, dark fury. Boy gone far. Attacking home, hunting mountains, winter. Attempted murder, plain simple. Get Marshall, Elena said. Arrest Holloway before someone killed. Agreed, Jacob said. But also secure cabin. Make sure Holloway can't wreck use against us somehow. Round men, Clayton said standing. Ride hour, arrest Holloway men, make face justice. Ends today, Jacob felt relief, not alone. Had friends, allies, community wouldn't stand one threatened. Maybe finally really end. Maybe start building life promised. 3 months later, early spring came Colorado high country. Snow melting slow, showing green under, new grass pushing soft earth, wildflowers starting bloom-protected spots, aspen showing first leaf buds. World waking after long, hard winter. Jacob Stone stood porch cabin, their cabin now, watching Sarah tend garden plot prepared. Planting seeds, Elena gave, working soil patient care, humming self. Cabin looked different before Holloway's attack. Better somehow. Repaired damage together, but doing added better. Larger window let more light, proper sleeping loft, covered porch give shade summer. Becoming less hermit's shelter, more home. After confrontation, Willow Creek, Marshall Harris arrested James Holloway hired men. Charges serious. Attempted kidnapping, breaking, entering, assault, deadly weapons. With testimony, Jacob, Sarah, half-dozen witnesses, case straight. Holloway's dad sent lawyers. Expensive city men tried paint, client lovesick, young-driven extremes emotion. But judge not impressed. Sentenced Holloway 5 years territorial prison. With understanding any more contacts Sarah Whitmore result more charges, hired men got less sentences, most released. But left territory right, clear no want face Jacob Stone friends again. Day after Holloway's sentencing, Jacob Sarah married. Elela Nena organized all. Ceremony, small church, Pine Ridge, Clayton, standing, Jacob's witness, Elela Nena Sarah's. Whole community attended, filling tiny building warmth, good wishes. Jacob remembered standing altar, seeing Sarah walk towards simple white dress Elela Nena helped make. Beautiful, not just look, but joy from face, sure steps, way eyes never left. Vows traditional, but Jacob added own words. Sarah came mountain-looking survival skills, gave more precious, gave back life. Showed never too late, start over, never too late, love again, never too late, choose hope over fear. Promise honor gift every day together. Sarah cried own vows, promising stand beside whatever came, build life together, mountains both loved, never let fear, judgment, opinions others make less found. Now 3 months later, they'd settled rhythm felt natural, right? Mornings checking traps together. Afternoons working cabin garden, prepping summer ahead. Evenings fire, talking, reading, or just sitting comfy quiet. Sarah proved more capable mountain life. Could shoot well Jacob now, could read weather signs, animal tracks, could go high country, sure. But also brought something Jacob missing. Laughter, lightness, find joy, small moments just yesterday. Surprised making cake ingredients, hoarding, surprising 64th birthday. Lopsided, slightly burned one side. Most delicious thing Jacob tasted made love. What thinking? Sarah called garden. You, Jacob said honest. Us, how different life now year ago. Sarah stood walked porch wiping dirt hands. Showing now. Just bit, gentle curve belly obvious anyone knew look. Discovered pregnant 2 weeks ago. News left, Jacob scared overjoyed same. 64 going father again. Thought should impossible, funny even. But looking Sarah life growing inside, Jacob felt only thanks. Scared? Sarah asked, reading look. Terrified, Jacob said. Old enough grandfather child. Might not live see grow full. Don't know remember father. Sarah took hands. Wonderful, yes. Older most new dads, but wiser, patient, experienced. Child lucky you. What if something? What if Jacob couldn't finish? Memory losing Annie Margaret still sharp even years. Then face together, Sarah said firm. But Jacob can't live fear might happen. Trust meant handle whatever comes. Placed hand belly. Child already loved. That's matters. Jacob felt wet eyes. Age thought tears long gone. But Sarah changed too. Showed okay, feel deep, vulnerable, let emotions show. Dad proud you, Jacob said quiet. Seeing strong, happy building life, chose self. Loved you, Sarah said. Always did, really. Loved this, knowing daughter mentor found each. Something good came hardship. Stood together porch, watching mountains wake winter sleep. Few weeks passes full clear, travelers start moving. Elela Nena Clayton promised visit, bringing supplies news wider world. But now just 2. Soon 3, small valley top world. Jacob spent 20 years mountains, believing story over. Best hope peaceful alone till death claim. Wrong much. Story not over. Just waiting right person help write next chapter. Sarah written 300 miles dangerous land word, dying dad wood horse carved long. Found broken hermit forgot live. Patient stubborn reminded life not just surviving. About connection, purpose, someone share journey with. Jacob's workbench inside. Visible window sat new wood horse. Smaller, delicate, carved skill got years, unfinished. Added detail each evening, letting work unfold slow, natural. Baby, future, life still written. Come inside, Sarah said, tugging hand. Want show something? Inside cabin, warm fire smelling fresh bread, Sarah pulled letter writing. Addressed Eleanor detailing plans summer, asking advice baby, sharing small notes mountain life. Want start writing things? Sarah said. Our story, things learned, life building someday, child old enough understand, no found each. No love come any time, any age, best things life often ones never planned. Jacob pulled close, marveling warmth, solid real presence. Tell father stubborn old hermit thought done living. Tell mother bravest person knew brave chase hope across 300 miles wild. Tell love no expiration date, opening heart, even after years protecting most courageous person do. Sarah smiled him. Tell all. Tell in Colorado mountains, two people running different pains finally stopped running, started building. Chose each, chose life, never regretted moment. Not even grumpy weather track snow inside, forget say feeling? Jacob asked, slight smile. Not even then, Sarah said. 'Cause even hard days, even things not perfect, rather hear you than anywhere else world. Outside, spring kept slow changeland. Ice melted. Creeks flow again. Animals came hibernation. World renewing self every year. Cycle endings, beginnings. Death, rebirth, winter, spring. Jacob learned human heart's same pattern. Freeze, shut, retreat world. But thaw, open, reach, connect again. Never too late. No age limit hope, no expiration date possible happy. Sometimes thought held Sarah close. Best parts life came least expected. Given hoping more, convinced story finished. That's hope found anyway. Riding snowstorm, carrying wood horse, refusing no answer. Those Colorado mountains, Jacob Stone learned true live again. Every morning woke beside Sarah. Every evening sat together watching sunset paint peaks gold purple. Every moment ordinary, extraordinary life together, grateful. Grateful second chances. Grateful courage, hers. Grateful community, friends stood needed most. Grateful love, no concern age convention, others thought. Grateful simply alive, loved, found way home. After 20 years wandering wilderness, Woodhorse sat workbench, slow taking shape. Jacob finish eventually, give child coming tell story parents met. Tell Thomas Whitmore boy believed broken man couldn't believe self. Tell perseverance courage never giving people love. But mostly tell hope, finds need most. Transforms all, proves no matter long winter, spring always comes eventually. Small cabin 9,000 feet. Surrounded peaks witnessed human joy, sorrow, millennia. Two people thought best years behind, discovered precious. Love doesn't care perfect timing, ideal spots. Just is. When find, hold, everything have. Jacob Sarah found. Against odds, hardship, danger, past fear, doubt, found. Protect, nurture, let grow alongside child coming, life building. Together, story started, Woodhorse dying, man's last words became something beautiful. Testament resilience, second chances, stubborn insistence, never too late, start over. Sunset, Colorado high country evening, painting world fire gold. Jacob Stone stood porch wife beside, hand belly, new life growing, thought, this happiness looks not perfect, not easy, but real earned. Worth every struggle took find. Tomorrow bring new challenges. Baby prepare, garden keep, traps check, life continue building. But tonight just this peace, love, certain knowledge exactly meant, exactly person meant. And Jacob thought Sarah leaned, they watched stars come, one darkening sky was.